Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Yes, and peace and blessings to all of those. Um, of course, I'm here again. I'm Taalib Abdurrahim Pugh, also known as AKA Theodore Pugh Jr. of the Theodore Pugh Sr., and known as your friendly neighborhood Muslim. yeah, I'm here on another video to give you some good word and to also speak in this in a position of defense of my faith, and not a defense as though the people know of the Muslims, unfortunately, with misconception of us being fighting against people and innocent people and terrorism and all that it has, which is has nothing to do with Islam. Islam is free from that, and jihad, we're not free from jihad, but jihad has a position and has rulings, and you cannot step beyond those bounds. And basically, jihad, we don't go against the people unless they go up against us. But the first part of jihad is basically to go up against yourself. So I'm not defending my faith on that line, and I have no reason to right at this point. I'm defending my faith as far as misconceptions in a verbal manner. Okay, and that's what I'm doing. Basically, I was speaking to my brother, and he had called me, and he's my good brother. I love him well and everything, and I respect him, and and vice versa. He respects me, he respects my faith and everything. But he just had a question about what he found out, and basically what he had found out, to make it brief as possible, was that in Saudi Arabia, which is where Islam actually originated from, he found that they were, they had like a documentary or something he watched that spoke about the women and the lack of their rights being upheld, and their human rights, and there was human rights problems with them there, that the men oppressed them, or well, more or less suppressed them, and from being able to have their rights upheld, and they can do, be free to do as they would, be able to do in any other country that had freedom for women. But I was trying to tell him, and I let him know, in other words, I spoke to him already, but this is for the people who haven't heard me speak, and I hope even if he listens again, that it will be reconfirmed in his head that Islam is free from the actions, the evil actions, the errors of the Muslim, the 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 wrongdoings, in any aspect, whether it's verbally, whether it's action wise, hands and body wise, all of that. You know, we are not perfect, and none of us ever, and know better to not even mention that. We know that there's only one perfect being, and that's Allah, which means the deity, worth. It means one God, one deity, Allah. That's what the one God, and we worship Him alone, and that's basically it. That's the basis of our faith. It's called Tawheed, or monotheism. The best to say it is Tawheed in Arabic, and in monotheism is the breakdown of it, as far as or the understanding in the English word of what it is, and it means to worship one God, the worship of one God. Okay, not gods, not plural, or some people have misconception that one God can also be three, and no, because they try to break it down into pieces to equal one, and it's a unity. No, the unity of God is that he created everything, and that's where the unity is at with Him. He has a unified relationship with His creation, not about Him that they are one of Him. He's by Himself, He's above His creation. But back to the point, Allah is perfect, His word is perfect. The Quran is His word, not something that was created. It wasn't made. It wasn't written just just be written, and man made it off their minds. No, was revealed to a man, and it was revealed to through an angel known as Jibril, or they know him in English as Gabriel, and he is one of the messenger. He's the main messenger angel that brings Allah's revelations to His prophets. And he brought the last revelation, which is known as the Quran. The Quran is known as the last revelation, the perfect word and revelation of Allah, of God, given to Muhammad. And Muhammad was the one who brought it, and brought Islam from it. because the Quran is the guidance of Islam. Okay, and Islam is the faith for the human beings that Muhammad was sent to. Okay, which is all of us, because after him, his message was the last for all the rest of mankind that lived after he gave that message, after he brought the teachings of Islam. So that's where it lies at. That's where our faith lies at, on that. That's what's perfect. But when the Muslims do what they think is right, and of course in any faith you can misinterpret your faith. You can misinterpret your faith, and how that happens usually is because they don't know the guidance of the original guidance. They don't know it, or they might want to deviate from it because they cannot see men. And that's our weakness. Has been our imperfect weakness has been on us through falling to desire, falling to our desires, worshiping our desires. Today, that's a lot. Even like these people they call the Illuminatis and all that. Whatever, they have a slogan, and it was one of their slogans from their main people who started their group in this country. McAllister or something, can't remember his name, but you can look him up. He's like one of the forefathers of Illuminati and Masonry. And he has a slogan. It says, "Do as thou shalt want," or do as thou shalt. Meaning, do what you want. Follow your desires. So the Muslims follow their desires too. We follow our desires too. But basically, mainly what we're supposed to do as far as a Muslim is submit to Allah, the creator of us, all of us, and follow our desires according to what he permits for us to follow. What he says, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. No, not to say maybe we should. What he commands for us to do and not to do. Excuse me, no, there's no maybe. But some people go on that maybe, or go on that, oh, maybe I could do it and it's okay. And then you fall. Then you find yourself in a bad situation. You made an error. So the Muslims are their actions, our actions are free from these evil things. Our actions are free from Islam. Islam has nothing to do with our evil actions. It has to do with our good actions, because the guidance of Allah and Islam and His Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may the peace and blessings be upon him, was good. All good, not sin, not wrong, not errors, not oppression, not suppression, not racism, not intoxicating oneself, not sexual lewdness, sexual sodomizing. Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, you know what I mean. But basically, all the evils that mankind does: stealing, robbing, raping, harming, violently killing, and all the things we do. That is there's no just cause of why we're doing it. Is that we just want to do it because we desire to, and then we find out. And the Muslims find out. Now, the suppression of the women in Saudi is not done by every Muslim man in Saudi. It's done by those who do it. Just like here, women are suppressed here. A woman right in her own home, she's suppressed, beaten, verbally abused, the whole nine. Right here in America, in Africa, that's a whole continent, different parts of Africa, in Asia, especially. Look how they've done. Suppress their women for many of you. They used to take things and make their women to make themselves look beautiful, that they had to tie their feet up, do all different types of things. In Japan, the way the women walk, and they wear that it's like a kind of like a narrow, but it's beautiful. It's a nice little dress like outfit, but it's like they have to walk a certain way, and they're restrained to be able to walk like that. They restrain their legs, and they're forced. Women were forced to mutilate their sexual parts of their body so that they wouldn't be willing to have sexual cravings. What is it called? The clitoris removed, and it had nothing to do with Islam. They weren't even Muslim. Muslims weren't always the only ones doing these things. So we might look, see a video, documentary, read an article, and it's in your heart. You have to really be, if it's in your heart that you are biased to the faith of Islam, then you're going to go with it. I mean, let's keep it real. But if you're not biased to the faith and you're genuinely trying to seek out and learn, and you have a doubt, don't let the shaitan use your doubt against you. Allah, if you are following to learn about something, that means you're interested in it. That means Allah is inclining you to it. He's guiding you to it. Get it real. Shaitan doesn't guide, he misguides. Allah guides, and he guides whom he chooses to guide. You didn't have to have an interest in Islam. None of us. I didn't, and I accepted Islam. I've been Muslim over 20 years. It's the longest faith I've been involved in. I've been in a lot of faiths. Left off from the Catholic faith of my family that I was raised in and went through different faiths. And Islam was the last, and still is. Because it's the last revelation. It goes together with me, with my life. Yeah. And my name is Taalib, which means student of knowledge. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning Islam. And I love it. You understand? Now, more in my life as an older person, I'm learning to accept things that I didn't even realize and to implement them better, to implement them more. Because I know I'm going to meet Allah. There's going to be a day eventually my life is going to be taken here. I hope pray it doesn't happen any earlier, sooner. May Allah give me, preserve me. I mean, so I can be with my family. Well, mainly to please Allah more before I go, and to be with my family, and my friends that love me too. But ultimately, I know I'm gonna meet my Maker, and we all do, and we all are. So get it together. Islam, if it's coming to you, it's for a reason. Don't let no doubt, not even your own parents, put doubt into your heart that is the faith for you. That is the truth. It is the truth. Don't let nobody, don't let the people, don't let no racism, don't let anything you see look inside and deep into your heart, and then also go and study and learn with the people who know it. Come to those people who know it. Don't go to the non-Muslims and listen to a non-Muslim. I mean, how you gonna do that? How you gonna listen to somebody that ain't even following the faith? Because they happen to say, okay, let's do a documentary because we want to reveal what these people are doing and show them that they're not really all that what they cracked up to be. And Saudi is a land of oppression and this and that. Okay, let's put Saudi out there. Let's blow up their spot. Let me not say that before I get, marked as I'm saying something that has to do with terrorism, because I use that word, BLOW. Forgive me for that, but But anyway, it's like we're Muslims and we're human, but one thing, we're imperfect because of that. Because we're human, and just because we're Muslim doesn't mean that we're not imperfect. So our actions are not what constitutes what Islam is. So we can't do that. But hold the people accountable for their actions, who they are, and what they do, what type of person they are, the personality they are. Okay? And it's not a land either. Let's not just base lands and stuff, say that land is that, and it might have some prevalence on what they do there as like traditionally and how they live, but you can't just say, okay, no, that it's, and stereotype everybody, because not everybody's doing it even in that land. Not everybody feels that way or believe that way or follows that way of how these men do these things, or human beings do. Like even in America, there's a lot of evil here, a lot. But some other countries, they don't like what they see from us. But not everybody does these evils that they see from us, like myself included. I don't barely even curse. I might once in a blue moon out of anger might slip. But you got predominant amount of human beings in this country curse. And it's not a becoming part of your character to do this. These words, most people know. That's why people say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry," because you're trying. You can't go into an interview just cussing and cussing. People, you're not gonna get the job. Can't go into a business meeting and just cussing and cussing. Some people, they got business meetings. They got that type of relationship with their business partners or people that they're doing business with. So they can freely go on into that and being in politics and you're not gonna go on a membar, or we call it a podium, and go and stand up in front of the people just cussing up a storm. So some people think that, oh, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just words. No, it's maybe a small vice of a people, but everybody don't do that, and that's the point. So every Muslim is not doing these things that are evil that the other Muslims do too. So now we're not gonna stereotype and damn all the Muslims because one or few or whatever Muslims do this in the land or something like that. No, make errors and do wrong, and definitely again, you should not judge the faith, and that's my point on this message. So I pray that you guys are guided to Islam. Those of you watching and are learning about Islam, and you have inclination to wanting to know about it enough that you might even think to enter it. Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Why are you wanting to know? Just to know? Or is it something that's in your heart that's pushing you? Like me. Like all the Muslims that accepted Islam. That wasn't born into Islam. And then there's Muslims that were born into Islam. They went astray and did bad. And then they came back to their faith because Allah brought them back. He guides. He's the one who guides. We as Muslims know Islam. I don't make Muslims. The Muslims, we can't make you. We can't make you be Muslim. Allah makes Muslims. He opens your heart and your mind together. They go together, not one over the other. Okay, and they both together confirm the belief in Him, that it is true. That they believe in one deity and they worship Him alone, and they're gonna live their life. That's what Islam is. Islam is a way of life. They're gonna live their life submitting, and Islam means to submit, surrendering yourself to Allah. That means you're gonna follow the way that Allah set your lives to be, not the way you desire it only. You can desire, but desire what Allah is pleased with, because that's your faith. Your faith is based on pleasing Allah. Your religion is based on pleasing Allah. This way of life is based on pleasing Allah. So that when He is ready to take you from this life, you're going to be in a better position. So that His day, that is known as the Day of Judgment, and in all the main three faiths of Allah, the prophets of Judaism and the prophets of Christianity, which is the main prophet Jesus, and then Muhammad, which is the last prophet, which is of Islam, they all was taught about the Day of Judgment. They all was taught about the signs till that day, which we're going through now. So put them together and realize, and may Allah guide you, Ameen, to Islam. And thank you for listening. Have a good evening, morning, whatever the time you receive this message from me. And until the next time, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.